Hey everyone, and welcome to the Retro Reef, and what a great time to start the channel. They just announced at 10 o'clock this morning that they are having a Nintendo Direct tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So why don't we add all this speculation online and give some of our opinions on what we're looking forward to in this next Nintendo Direct. So this Direct has been rumored starting last week, really, kind of to really pick up with some people on the internet, with some well-known sources, apparently, as well as just Nintendo hasn't missed a Direct in the month of September in almost 8+ years. I think it's an extra year if I remember seeing online. So it's been quite a while. So people have been hearing a lot of separate things. So I want to give what I'm looking for, what I hope for in the Nintendo Direct, tied with some of the rumors that we're seeing here. So one of the biggest things that I am really hoping is true, and that is announced, it's been rumored for quite a while now, is the Wind Waker HD port and the Twilight Princess port over to the Nintendo Switch. I myself would absolutely love to see this and really think that it is going to be there. I feel like they need something to go along with Zelda for this year, and I think this has been in the works for a little bit. And I wouldn't be surprised if they've released this. I mean, porting games from them, from what it seems like with the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection, is that it's pretty simple for them to do since they're just porting it over and working out some of the kinks later. So I'm hoping that they have that, and I think that would be great to have. Me personally, I've been trying to get my wife to go and play Wind Waker, but she really wants to play on the portable. She loves Switch. She loves being able to just pick it up and play in any room that she wants to, since we have multiple docking stations. So I would love to be able to go through that experience with her, so I'm really hoping and really think it's going to be there. Maybe a little bit biased, but we'll see what happens. So Twilight Princess, I do love the game. Personally, it's not my favorite out of all the Zeldas, but I've only played through it once, so I would really love to see that kind of ported over so I can give that another try, just to see, if I can really, love it a little more than I do currently now and enjoy that experience a little more. So we'll see. And going along with the rumors of there being a Zelda blowout at this Nintendo Direct tomorrow, I do think they are going to give some more of the Breath of the Wild 2 news. It just makes sense, right? We're getting closer, they need to put a name on it, and they want to start building the excitement. The one thing about Zelda that I love is that they don't need to show much to capture fans' excitement and attention and create that buzz online. So I think maybe, show a minute or two trailer, even if it's not gameplay, another cinematic, drop the name and confirm the release date. I think fans will go wild about that. Something short and sweet to the point to say, hey, we have Wind Waker and Twilight Princess coming this year. Breath of the Wild 2 is still on pace, as well as here's a little bit of fun and a name drop to kind of start some of the rumors and speculation up. So some of the other things that we're seeing online is F-Zero. I'm seeing a lot of F-Zero. Me personally, not that I wouldn't be too into an F-Zero game. My concern is that I doubt they're going to do another racing style game with Mario Kart. It's selling like hotcakes continuously since it was released on the Wii U and kind of remade on the Switch. So I don't think they're really going to put another racing game alongside that. Plus, you're seeing a lot of other spin-off racing games, non-Nintendo, that kind of pick up that little bit of a market. So to the similar Mario Kart style. So that said, I think they're going to try to do something new with F-Zero if they do it. I just don't know what the answer is to what would really they could put out there that really kind of helps capture that F-Zero fan base. Bring back some of that nostalgia that people want from it, as well as show something completely new. That's kind of a hard task, especially with a franchise that has already been around. So I don't think we will see it, and if we do, I think it's just going to be a port of the old game over. Now, to hoping, I do hope they would try something. My concern is that they may treat it like Star Fox Adventures, right? That was supposed to be another game, and it looks like they slapped a Star Fox skin on top of it at the last minute. I just don't want it to be this type of action-adventure game that really kind of puts a negative light on F-Zero. So that's my personal opinion. It's probably not a popular one, but I don't see what they can do with it. Maybe that's just my lack of creativity there. But again, I'm not a game designer, game developer. I just like to play them. So so that's kind of my take on F-Zero. Now, kind of alongside, because we, kind of talk about porting the Zelda games, an F-Zero game over. So let's talk about Nintendo Switch Online. Moving over to that, there's also a lot of stuff online saying, hey, we might get some GameCube games on there. I highly doubt that, and I haven't seen that as much as I've seen the rumor of Game Boy moving over. So I would love to see Game Boy Advance brought over and Game Boy. My concern with Nintendo is Nintendo loves to just confuse all of us. So I could see them dropping Game Boy Color, or just Game Boy alone, no color even, and just having that on there, and people are like, okay, I'll play the 1 or 2 games I want and forget about it. Not that the Game Boy wasn't a great system, but people want Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. And Game Boy Advance is such a large library. Game Boy in general, if you just include all of them. So, will they do it? I think they will, but then it opens up the door, what games are they going to drop? Adding Pokemon games on there is really... I don't see that happening, and for a few reasons. Maybe Generation 1 and Generation 2. Generation 1, especially because they've released it so many times, and remade it multiple times, but I feel like Game Freak and Nintendo are going to want to keep remaking like the 3rd gen, 4th gen. They want to keep doing that and selling copies, because let's be real, us Pokemon fans are going to buy it regardless if it's and play it if it's, on the original game, if it's a remake that they make, if we dislike the art style. It's just the way it goes. So whether I agree with it or disagree, I just don't think that they're going to move Pokemon games over. So moving the Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games over, that said, I think that there are fantastic games on, those handhelds that could be brought over. People would love to play, but I think not having Pokemon, I might be some of the holdup, right? Because what are they going to do with that? So we will see. I think eventually we will see all that move over, but in terms of tomorrow's Direct, I think they are going to announce Game Boy games. I just don't know if they're going to take that leap to Game Boy Advance. We'll see. So I could see Game Boy and Game Boy Color being moved over, and fans be like, oh yeah, I can play Game Boy Advance, and you fire it up, and it's not there. So they love to confuse us and surprise us, so we'll see. And moving forward, I guess, moving away, I apologize, from the online stuff, I personally would really love to see a Pikmin spinoff. And this is more of a personal wish. I do love the Pikmin series. I played 1, 2, and 3. I think my problem is it's going to be hard for them to make a 4th. The story, in my opinion, only goes so far, and I can see them really trying to drag it out. And I think the other problem, too, is Pikmin is such a niche audience and fan base, and that's not a bad thing, which is why I think they need to bring it back to kind of bring some of those fans back up, and you need those side games. But my concern is that they're going to release a Pikmin 4, it's going to be half of what it is, sell it full price, and really kill the game. Now, the Pikmin game, I feel like the phone app, I forget what it's called, but I feel like that was them testing the waters. And I could see them going and trying to do a spin-off that they sell for maybe not full price, right? Maybe $39.99, $49.99, $40, $30, $40. Do kind of a spin-off. I would really like to see that. See them try something a little different, but also have some of those fun features that fans love. So we'll see, if that's there. Do I think it's going to be there? No. Do I wish it was there? Yes. So we'll see about that. And let's move to another one I think is going to be there. I do think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be there in some capacity. A lot of people are talking about the Metroid Prime bringing back like the previous games being ported over. I 100% will probably be wrong in this, but I just don't see them doing that. I don't see them bringing those over as well as having the Zelda ports. Now, like I said, I could very much well be wrong, and it would be great to have those. For some reason, I just don't see that coming yet. I think that might be a 2023 thing they go. So maybe they announce it and release it in 2023. But go and have that a little closer to when Metroid Prime 4 comes out. That's what I'm thinking. But I think they will show a little bit of 4 tomorrow. I think they have to. I hope they do, because we just haven't seen anything, and this thing has been through the ringer, and we're going to need some information soon. Fans are, I think eventually are going to start getting to the point where they don't believe it's coming out. If we wait for a whole nother Direct, I think people are really going to be pushing for it. If not this Direct, next Direct, people are going to be really grinding for it. So I hope they show a little bit, maybe have a name. I know they'll do Prime 4, but maybe something underneath of it, like a sub name to it underneath that kind of tells a little bit what the game is. And then go maybe hard code a release date. I doubt they'll do that, but maybe give like a window where they'll say May, the month of whatever year. Kind of lock that down and show a little bit of gameplay or a cinematic trailer where we're at, what we can expect. So I would love that, and I think that's what we will see tomorrow from a Metroid Prime perspective. I really hope they bring the trilogy, but I just don't think that's going to happen. I think, like I said, it's going to be a 2023 and lead into 4 to kind of build up some of that hype. I think right now it'll be a Zelda focus, port those over, and then go focus on Breath of the Wild 2. Maybe throw some Metroid, around the time that comes out, and then Metroid Prime 4 would come out after that to kind of build the hype one to the other without overlapping. That's kind of my viewpoint on it. And I guess something else I would hope for that is coming out soon, Bayonetta. So I personally just picked up Bayonetta 1 and 2 for the Wii U, where it has both games in the one disc set. So I have not played through the Bayonetta series, and I am starting that up this week. So I am amped to start that. That said, Bayonetta 3 is right around the corner. I don't want anything ruined, but I would love to see a little more just to kind of hype that excitement, because as I'm starting 1 and 2, like I said, I don't want spoilers, but I would love to kind of, as I wrap up 1, have that extra push. Something tomorrow that really makes me think, wow, I really need to push through 1 and 2, get really excited. And hopefully I love the series enough to dive right into 3 when it comes out. So that's kind of where I am. I do think we will see some Bayonetta just because of the fact that we have a direct tomorrow. The game's selling soon, so they're going to want to try to push that as much as they can. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that towards the end, where they show a little more, maybe not the last game, but something alongside that is what I'm thinking, like towards the end. So we'll see, but that's kind of my hope there, to see a little bit more there and get a little more excited, for me being a little greedy and personal, since I'm just starting that series up myself. Something I would love to see, I doubt we're going to see it, I would love to see a little more information on Pokemon. Pokemon, as you are all well aware, they usually have their own directs. They usually don't leak into normal directs unless it's, Smash character or something like that. Me personally, as a Pokemon fan, I just want to see more Scarlet and Violet. I don't want to say concerns, but my excitement's growing, and I'm trying to hold back my excitement to this whole open world, just because, with Legends, I loved the way they did that, very fast-paced open world. I loved it. And Sword and Shield, it didn't capture that. I put a lot of time into that game, but more shiny hunting from that's personally what I like to do. So I would like it to kind of see a mix. I want to bring a little bit in. I do want it to be open world, but from a battle perspective and I just don't want to run out and throw a Pokeball every 10 seconds, but I definitely want a little bit of, old school Pokemon in there. So we'll see what they do, but I would love to see more. I guess a little more, even if it's 2 minutes in this direct tomorrow. I doubt we're going to see anything Pokemon, like I said. This is just more of my hopes. But, and from an opinion perspective, I don't think it's going to be there as much as I would like to see it. So, sad news for Pokemon fans. Probably won't be there tomorrow. But, good news. Games look great so far. So, we'll see. And hopefully there's more news to come out for that. So, the next thing, I guess, that I would expect, and this is probably the last thing I want to close on, I wouldn't be surprised if they talk about DLC to some capacity. Now, I know that's very, very broad, but I just, looking across the landscape, they have all these games that we are seeing, Breath of the Wild 2's coming out, Bayonetta 2's around the corner. There's nothing really new, and I feel like they're going to want to add something new to kind of gear up some of that excitement. Even bringing over the ports, people love those, but Nintendo likes to have some new stuff even with ports along, that side. They usually try to, from what I've noticed. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go and have a DLC to some capacity. My first thought was Animal Crossing, just because they kind of left fans to dry after they said, hey, this is the last scope of DLC, and that's it. And I loved it, and I played through it, and my wife and I play a lot of it, so, I would personally just like to see that. I don't think they're going to do that. It's just more of me hoping, wishing they would have more of that. Something else I was thinking of that they could have from a DLC perspective is just spoil some of the tracks, or show us some of the tracks that are coming up for the Mario Kart DLC that was already announced. So I could see them talk about that potentially a little more. Me personally, I kind of stopped playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe about a year or so ago, and with the new courses coming out and dropping of the DLC, it forced me to pick it up, and I've been absolutely loving it so far. So I would love to see some of the courses coming up, and maybe push that a little sooner. I doubt they'll do that, but it would just be great to see that, show us some of the courses coming in the future. But what I really think they will have DLC for, which is going to break my heart, is either Mario Golf or Mario Strikers. And the reason I'm saying it's going to break my heart, Mario Golf is for the N64. All of them really are my favorite games. I just love them. They're some of my favorite games. I can pick them up whenever and play those. And they just botched this most recent one. As much as it hurts me to say, I just don't enjoy going back. I have no replay value. The mechanic, I would say, is the biggest thing for me, and it just felt very dull. So I wouldn't be surprised, since the player count is going down, that they try to add stuff to it to get people to play it. That's just typically what they do. There's a game that's passed, and they release DLC for something, and everyone's like, well, that game's already dead, so why would I go back to it? So get a few people to check it out, and that's pretty much it. So I do really hope that, they steer away from this, but just because, from my eyes, I'm not going to go back and play those versus the old games. But I could see them doing that, as well as the Strikers, like I said. Strikers, I was so excited for, and like most people, very disappointed in terms of how they handle the online, as well as it just doesn't have as much replay value. For me personally, I feel very crammed when I play it versus the other Strikers, as well as I just feel like I'm playing the same characters over and over and over again. At that point, I'd rather have it like the older games where you're just playing as Shy Guys or, the Koopas and that. I'd rather run around with that than have a bunch of Mario characters. I'd rather just leave those as captains, because I just feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again. And the mechanics to me personally, I didn't enjoy that much. But since that's still on the newer side for them, I could see them releasing DLC for that game. And I personally, hopefully they don't do that, but I could see them doing that. So we'll see. But, I don't want to end on a negative note. I want to go and end on a positive note and thank all of you who have stuck through me talking here for a little over 15 minutes and what to expect on the channel. I really just want to talk about not just Nintendo news, but gaming news that I find interesting, what appeals to me. I'll probably have something about post-direct, probably talk about what I was right on, wrong on, my viewpoints on what they did talk about. So I'll probably do stuff like that, and I'll probably look up to hopefully upload once a week. I'll keep everyone updated, most likely on Saturday schedule. But that's kind of what to expect and what I'm looking to do. Like I said, I just want to create a community, and I love, scrolling through the comments of other YouTubers and their channels. I love listening to what people have to say, their opinions. And I love, going and talking online, whether it's Twitter, Reddit, anywhere about gaming. So, feel free, leave some comments below. Let me know what you would like to see, what things you think I'm completely wrong on, what things you may agree with, what things that I didn't mention that you want to see. I would love to see what you guys are excited for and expect to see tomorrow. And, have a good day. Enjoy the direct, and thank you for tuning in. I do really appreciate it. See you guys.